So today we're going to look at Project Ginsu to see how well it fared through the process of actually moving it from the old shop to the new shop. So MG Rob back with you. Now that Project Ginsu has been moved over to here, I didn't want this thing to sit for very long before I started checking things for level, see if it was sitting here the same way it was over at the old shop. And I need to put all the inner fender wells back on, fenders, bonnet, and see if everything still fits. So as you can see here, I've made a lot of progress on getting the shop kind of sorted out here and making some space. I got a bunch of temporary lighting so maybe you can actually see what's going on here. So I brought up the fenders, inner fender wells, the hatch, and the bonnet, all partly from the shed and partly from my basement. Now I can say that after welding the frame rails up completely and doing the cross member and welding the plates on this, all that stuff there, that the inner fender wells didn't line up quite as well to all the little holes as it did before. It was close, but not quite. So I'm really interested to find out how well they fit now after the car has been moved. So we'll start out here with checking the ends here, my flat tables there, see how level they are. Now they weren't quite perfect at the old place, but I knew what I had, so I knew what to work with. So let's take a look. Well, it looks like we're just a hair off. There's an ever so slight twist in it, which is not at all surprising considering the floor at the other place and the floor at this place. Even though in theory they should both be perfectly level, yeah, you never know. But it is really close. So next thing is to double check in various spots on the car to verify the rest of the car and what it looks like too. The front rails, rear rails, and various spots. Well, it appears, checking it with a level, all the points I've checked actually look really good except for the very front here is a little off. So it actually is checking better than what the plates check, which the level doesn't sit quite right on that one there. It's not perfectly flat. So I think at this point I'm going to go ahead and start putting in the inner fender wells, start hanging the sheet metal to see how things line up, and think about what other checks I want to make before I decide what needs moved. Well, it looks like I'm gonna have to take a few minutes here to find all my vice grips and stuff before I can finish clamping things together. All right, after rooting through 4 or 5 boxes, I think I found what I need and I can continue now. I just happened to think, you know, I really need to put the rockers in position too, don't I? I guess I got to go out to the shed and get those. All right, well, with the fenders in place, I am not going to be able to get the rockers in place, so those need to come back off so I can put the rockers on and then put the fenders back on. All right, while I would like to report that everything fits perfect, it doesn't. But then again, it didn't really fit perfect before. I just had what I felt was the best happy medium I was going to come up with, because these cars were not initially built with super great door gaps. And I had found in particular this car, the top, the greenhouse area of the car wasn't square at all. And I had been fighting this car from day one, trying to make sure everything is level and square and fits well, and everything's been just the best happy medium I can come up with to try to get the best overall door gaps and stuff. So the biggest thing I notice is it's like the front end, this fender's too far that way and this one's a little too far this way to be exactly where I want it, which I always had trouble getting at sitting just right, but now it just seems like there's not as much movement as it felt like there was before. So I will have to play with it a little bit. I'll spend a couple hours just going over everything, double checking things and getting everything back to what I deem a good happy medium for everything all the way around. Plus I'm having real troubles finding any of my tools beyond the basics and any of the bolts and some of the stuff that I had holding this thing together, like the screws that go in here. I can't find those, and I can't find my organizer that had like all the screws that I keep from all the old cars like that. So yeah, well, you know, that's going to be it for now. And you know, off camera I'll spend a couple of hours over the next couple of days thinking about it, figuring out what I need to do with it, double checking measurements, double checking level and square and all kinds of stuff until I get this thing back to where I'm happy with it.